Have you ever been to a party, a birthday, a gathering, and in one of the conversation circles, within 4 sentences, realized that one of the people had no clue about what they were talking about, as if they were an expert, right? Well, in 1997, a team entered Formula One, and right away, very quickly indeed, it became evident that they had no idea what they were getting into. And there was someone who profited from it. His name, Eddie Jordan. Again, and you are in small, great stories every week here on Splash and Gold, whether you already know a little story from Formula One or not, as long as it's quick, fun to tell, and nice to know. Let's go! The year 1997 is remembered by many as one of those that had one of the most resounding failures of a team that knew how to make race cars, but perhaps not all for Formula One. And I already promise here that I will tell the full story in teams we love. This one, of course, is the story of Lola's brief stint in Formula One. So brief that it lasted only 4 sessions. The Friday free practice sessions, the Saturday morning one, and the qualifying. Lola was a manufacturer of race cars, HC in the broadest sense of the term, not just for one category. And it only arrived in Formula One in 1997 after accumulating a lot of experience, racing around. It had already made chassis for Formula 3, Formula 2, Indy, IMSA, World Endurance Championship. In Can-Am, everything that was a racing car competition in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s had Lola involved. And they were already involved in this project, this venture, and I tell the story of this car in the video about the forgotten Formula One cars in history. Link in the description. The plan was to debut a season later, but then a sponsor appeared, a main sponsor. In this case, it's not a figure of speech. It was MasterCard, the credit card company. And they informed us at the last minute, we will join the Lola project in Formula One, but we will join if it's to debut in 97, because this coincided with their launch strategy, that campaign of such thing has a price, such thing is priceless, remember? So with that, Lola saw the deadlines shortening. It's not easy to set up a new team in Formula One. Imagine then, in half the expected time, thus came into the world the T97 Thika, the model with which they would debut, with the sponsorship of the credit card giant that had a revolutionary project. And this is where things get tough for Lola. The proposal from the partner company, or perhaps not so much a partner, was that we are going to launch a membership program, an associates program, based on this future revenue from a program that will be promoted by Lola's Formula One cars, traveling around the world. Then we will pay you. This meant that Lola would go ahead funding the project, hoping that maybe at the end of the rainbow, the pot of gold would appear. You already understand where this is going, right? It's a scam. The car basically didn't work at all, had very little running in the pre-season, and showed up in Melbourne, basically raw. At the wheel, Riccardo Rossetti, a Brazilian, and the Italian Vincenzo Sospiri. That year, the system of 107% of the pole time to the last. In other words, to simplify, if the pole position did a lap in 100 seconds, 1 minute and 40, you couldn't do more than 107%, 1 minute and 47. You must agree with me that 7 seconds from the first to the last is quite a lot when it comes to Formula One. But the problem was that the Lola cars, which barely ran in the free practice sessions, couldn't even stay within the limit. On Saturday, Jacques Villeneuve took pole position at Albert Park with 129.369, and Sospiri clocked 140.972, with Rossetti marking 142.86. The times recorded were 11.3 seconds and 12.717 seconds, respectively, when measured from the pole. These measurements indicate the duration it took for the events to occur, highlighting the precision and accuracy of the timing involved in this specific context. Failure! And it would be the last time we would see a Lola car in Formula One, because MasterCard pulled the plug and said, this embarrassment won't do. And there are very few images of the Lola cars on the track precisely because they only participated in the free practice sessions and qualifying. But then, after the Australian Grand Prix, with MasterCard already indicating they wouldn't race, Lola still pursued other sponsors. The company's VIP boxes were ready and Lola's crates had already been shipped from Melbourne to here. Arriving in São Paulo for the 1997 Brazilian Grand Prix, the first race I attended with my father, I remember the booklet they handed out at the entrance, featuring the Lola cars with Sospiri and Rossetti. But what we didn't know at the time was about an awkward situation in the VIP boxes in the paddock that was cleverly resolved by Eddie Jordan and ended up making money. Because the savvy Irishman saw that Lola, Hjälm, wouldn't be racing and that the MasterCard guests were left stranded without a buffet, without anyone to entertain them, bring a driver there for interviews and so on, signing autographs, caps. He then went to Birmingham and said, "Give me the phone number of the MasterCard president." Uncle Bernie gave it to him. Jordan called and said, "I'll host a group in the Jordan Suites. All your guests will be very well taken care of. But in return, I want a meeting in New York on Monday to talk about sponsorship." Deal done. Awkward situation resolved. On Monday, off went Jordan to the meeting. The rest is history, or in this case, it's a sticker. Because you might remember, and if you don't, we'll put the photo here of the Jordan cars stickered with MasterCard in 97, 98, 99, and so on. Tragedy for one, celebration for another. So that was another little story from Splash and Go. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like, it's free, it costs nothing. You know, it really helps the channel a lot. Do us this favor, to receive notifications of all our videos. There are many videos that go live, not every week, every month, all year round. We have notification channels on Telegram, WhatsApp, and also on Instagram. You join and start receiving an automatic message the moment I publish each of these videos. We also have content all the time on our social networks, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, and TikTok. The handles are being shown here. The links are down below in the description. All right, so that's it. Thanks, and a big hug.